Can the introduction of Bitcoin derivative products crash Bitcoin? Can it actually ruin the underlying asset? That's what we're talking about today. It was a question posed to us by one of our CT Club members. If you guys don't know what that is, check out a link down below for the CT Club. We've been giving a lot of trade alerts on which coins we're buying, how we're finding profits in this bear market. Yes, they are there to be found. In addition to classes, portfolio updates, market updates, and AMA questions like today's topic. Basically, they're worried of the introduction of these derivatives. Can it actually erode what Bitcoin is, how it functions? Can it crash Bitcoin and make it unvaluable, lose its value? First and foremost, I need to remind you that the value of any cryptocurrency is found in its network. The security of it, the decentralization of it, the speed of it, how much it costs to transact on it, the utility of that cryptocurrency. Supply is obviously tied into that as well with the tokenomics. Bitcoin have a limited supply. That is a huge strong point for Bitcoin. And so here's what derivatives markets are, is basically you're betting on the price of something without having to actually purchase that underlying asset. Futures contracts, options contracts, these are all examples of this. For example, you can buy futures contracts on a barrel of oil without actually having to figure out how you're going to store that barrel of oil. You don't actually take full ownership, physical ownership over that. The same is said for Bitcoin futures contracts as well. You can bet all day about what you think the price of Bitcoin is going to be in the future without actually having to store or buy actual Bitcoin. Last year, you know, the Bitcoin futures ETF was passed in the US, so that's what we're talking about here. Bitcoin is still seen and used as widely as a speculative asset. Most people are buying it because they think it's going to appreciate in the future, or they're not transacting with it in their daily lives. They're holding it for the long term. And because of that type of price speculation, there's a lot of people, especially day traders, who use tools or use what's happening on futures markets to determine the sentiment of where the price is going to go. Everyone wants to have a crystal ball of what the future price of anything is going to be. And futures prices, you know, the last Friday of every month is always volatile because that's when the futures expire and people are basing what's going to happen in the next month on that particular day. So on the short term, yes, it can affect the price of Bitcoin. There's a really good analogy that someone wrote about like people on Mars trading derivatives based on what's happening on Earth. And like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't affect what's actually happening on Earth until we know what they're trading about and we think they know something that we don't. So like, that's the analogy. So that's the main way and only way that derivatives can actually affect Bitcoin, is just price speculation. It doesn't actually increase the supply of Bitcoin that is hard-coded, that is non-negotiable and not changing. We're a long way away from people actually realizing the fallacies of the traditional financial system and how it's failing us time and again. And until that happens, you know, the realization of the utility of Bitcoin, that's where the value will really be derived from. But until then, we're in the speculation phase where derivatives can affect the price, but not the underlying asset. And that's the most important thing to understand here. So if you guys found this video informative, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, check us out in the CT Club. My name is Heidi. This is Crypto Tips. I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.